What in the name of Sigmar is going on here? What have you done, Creative Assembly? What have you done?
Oh, what are you whining about now, Carl? All I hear from you is noise, noise, noise. So you'll have to be a bit more specific. See, I've been enjoying the beach in Lustria, and don't have time for your usual yapping. Someone has to be spending all that money from Thrones of Decay, after all.
He's talking about the endgame dwarf crisis, and their insane confederations that you gave them.
What are you on about? That's not right. It can't be, mistakes were made?
Good, very good. All is as it should be, as it should have always been. Today is a day to strike down many grudges. The whole world will come to know our might, and they will tremble in fear. And you, Carl, you will surrender half the Empire, for it is our land, and we shall have it back. And perhaps we might allow the humans to live as our pets. As for you, Elf, you remember when we said we'd kill you last? We lied.
Welcome everyone, Christine here with a discussion about the Dwarves in Total War Warhammer 3, Immortal Empires Patch 5.0 Thrones of Decay. I have to thank Battlesby for the video idea over here, because he just took things to the next logical step. Because here's the thing, Dwarves, they have guaranteed confederation for the Great Book of Grudges. Okay, fair enough, really fun, adds a lot of variety to campaigns, but wait, isn't there a dwarf endgame crisis? Yes. Can we set an endgame crisis to spawn in the early game? Yes, we can. We can, good sir. And it is something glorious. It's probably one of the hardest endgame crises to actually defeat, because dwarves are insane. It was before the patch, imagine it with the patch. But wait, we can confederate the Legendary Lord endgame crisis factions. Yes. And that means we get everything they have. Yes. Including their armies with minus 100% upkeep. Indeed. Let me show you how you do this. In order to make this work, all you need to do is start a normal dwarf campaign. I'd probably recommend either Malachi or Grumbrindle or even Forik, potentially Belegar. Any one can work, but it's obviously going to be easier for someone like Grumbrindle or Malachi, and you'll get bigger benefits for it. Though as Malachi, at the very least, you're going to get Crocodrak. Haven't tested it out with Grumbrindle with the endgame crisis if he gets Rogue Army spawning in his situation. Don't know. Regardless, before you do start a campaign, you'll want to enable Diplomacy for scenario factions. Make sure the Grudge too far is the only endgame crisis, though you could also enable, you could just enable the Ultimate Crisis mode, so that can be fun. And then I would recommend increasing the endgame difficulty, or you can lower it if you so desire, it's really up to you. And then pick a particular turn timer. My recommendation on this particular subject would probably be something like turn 31. So like something like turn 31 would work the best, probably, you know, to turn 32, right? But anyway, that 30 to 40 range. And I would recommend just giving yourself one early warning timer so you know when it's happening exactly. You could set it higher if you want to just, you know, be able to get people out if you absolutely need to. Depends on the campaign you're picking. It won't really matter. But yeah, between 20 to 30 turns will be fine. Earlier than that, you won't be able to do confederations instantly the moment these factions spawn. And that's something that you would want to take advantage of. It would just be easier. But it's really up to you what you're comfortable with. It's just important to have this option enabled and just this option enabled. And yeah, give these armies a significant level of strength. Anyway, moving on. So, once you've started your campaign, you just play it normally. You go for grudges, you build up armies. You might also take advantage of Tamarkan's defeat trait, because it is a hell of a drug to have this many heroes so early on in a campaign. But one of the things that you would want to do, specifically as Malachi, though I'm sure in all the others, is get the hell out of your starting province. I'm not sure how it is for the other dwarves, for the other legendary lords, But you are going to get an endgame crisis army spawning in your location. So over here, I've just been running away with this army because a calamity is coming. The countdown to an imminent cataclysmic event has begun. Yes, for the AI, not for you. So, let me just skip over here to the next turn and show you what's gonna happen right here. So here is a grudge too far. The dwarves have decided en masse that it's time to finally settle their grudges, all of them, in a single tide of blade and gunpowder. Okay. So, what's gonna happen here is you're gonna see a bunch of these armies spawning. If you're playing as Malachi, you get 2 armies from RhadigarTV. The revival of the Norse dwarfs is at hand. These are powerful armies led by powerful lords, rank 20, rank 15. It is randomized to be certain. And they will declare war on you, but you can get a peace agreement, especially with the minor factions, pretty quickly. For the minor factions, it's going to be 2 armies, 2 endgame armies that they're going to spawn, which, well, Greece is about to have a really bad time, though I don't think that's going to apply to Grimgor, though. They can be defeated, that's the thing. But yeah, for major factions, 4 armies, and for the minor factions, 2. But there is a but here. The endgame crisis armies, they spawn, as far as I'm aware, with their entire research, or that might just be Skaven sorted out. Could apply to the dwarves, not 100% certain on that subject, but yeah, might very well be the case. So you can just go to diplomacy and start getting peace agreements, because they will start at war with certain factions, like, you know, Scabii, or they'll already have wars. And this will also be a great opportunity for you to gain vision with these kind of factions. And these armies have 0% upkeep at the very least. Research-wise, it may not be that important in a lot of ways, with one major exception. The AI is, of course, going to be very aggressive with these armies, and if they do have the Grand Throne Chamber research unlocked, well, things are going to get very nasty, because they'll build up a lot of territory. So suddenly things are getting pretty damn crazy. But of course, the key here is the Confederation through the Great Book of Grudges. Though you'll probably need about 10k. This is one of the reasons you would want to set this later than I have, like turn 30 or so, just so you can build enough grudges to confederate the Legendary Lord, one Legendary Lord, most likely Grumbrindle, because he's not going to have any other dwarf faction next to him. And Malachi is a good choice because, well, outside of Crocodrak screwing over initially, you don't have any other opponents. But yeah, insane level of power. So let me just get the required grudges and show you what happens with all of this, because it is quite something. So a couple of turns later, I have built up the required grudges to be able to confederate 3 out of 5 Legendary Lords that are available. Thorgrim and Belegar are a bit beyond me, especially Thorgrim. Dude's been doing work, suffice to say. Now, very interesting thing, I didn't get these 10k grudges by just defeating enemies. Like, it would have been very difficult in 10 turns to get that, given just the low grudges that you have right now. So maybe Age of Reckoning is more balanced and not as trivialized as I was fearing. But here's the thing. You know these legendary grudges? Yeah, see, when the AI completes one of these legendary grudges, you'll also get credit. So Belegar wiped out AK Claw. I wiped out Norska, so that's 5k grudges. That's how I did this. And now, unleash the Confederation. But before we do that, let's take a look at what's been going on. I've gotten a bunch of peace agreements with both major and minor factions. Ungrim is being a bit, obstinate?
For the wisdom
Joseph
of the
Bugman. Wow, that's impressive. Fun. Are you hinting at something, Freight of Assembly? But yeah, Ungrim is being obstinate, though considering he's annihilated Vlad, I can possibly understand that situation. But the other factions, both major and minor, I've gotten peace agreements. Karak Norn wiped out, Karak Ziflin wiped out. So yeah, their survival rate, just because they're in an in-game crisis, doesn't guarantee their survival. Karak Azorin is still alive, and it's like, look at Greases and Grimgor just chilling out How the hell is Greasus even alive? I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, Katep is feeling the full wrath of Grumbrindle. Now, just toggling this again, because it can cause some issues. And let's go with Ungrim. You have... It doesn't matter if you're at war with a faction or not. Like, I'm at war with Ungrim, and yet I can still confederate them. Just 10k grudges. Of course, the requirements are gonna double for the others, so like 25. Well, not quite double. It's gonna be 7.5k that's gonna be added. But yeah, we have unlocked a lot of power over here. Holy moly!
I must fulfill my slayer.
So of course, the legendary lord armies are not going to have the upkeep reduction, but all the other armies are. And gold-rated slayers, hammerers, rangers, organ guns.
Demon Slayer.
I wonder if a thunder barge can spawn in this. I haven't seen it, but yeah, it's pretty crazy what we have available with these armies. So also like just the sheer number of armies, like you can see here that he's got like two armies over there, 2 here, 3 here. Jeez, Ungrim, you've been going to town here. Now, I want you to consider the implications here, right? With the army that has minus 100% upkeep. I mean, just pay attention to the tabs here. I'll let you think for a moment. Consider your life choices. Alright? So here's the thing. These are not disposable armies. These are full, proper armies that have 100% upkeep reduction. So, let's say, you know, I get rid of the hammerers, right? And then I'm like, oh, let me just recruit a bunch of these. 0% upkeep. Regiment's Renown. 0% upkeep on these guys. And it doesn't even get, they don't even get affected by supply lines. So they have 0% upkeep. It gets better. Oh, yes, it gets better. So you obviously can, you know, transfer units, transfer heroes, all that kind of stuff, right? Obviously, you would not want to do this from one minus 100% upkeep army to another. But here's the thing. When all of this, not only do you get a lot of units with this kind of confederation and an immense level of power, but beyond the fact you get these lords that are proper army leaders, though I would recommend confederating, like having enough grudges confederate a legendary lord the moment they spawn, because that's going to benefit you. But not only do you have that, you have this nifty little button. So the ultimate outcome of all of this is, oh, let me just disband this army, can't afford it, get rid of Ungrim, and oh look, he gets added to the pool, and I can replace him, just like as I can put any lord in charge of this. Any hero, any unit. There's more. Oh yes, this is not over. You think this is insane? Think about it a bit more. What do you think we can do with this army? 0% upkeep on heroes, lords, units. Well, I'm sure some of you have figured it out already, but I'll clue you in. Thunder barges with 0% upkeep. 4 armies per major faction, 2 armies per minor one, and I'm sure, you know, Barakvar is gonna survive, Krakadrak may survive, that kind of stuff, right? Zufbar certainly will survive. I mean, they're just gonna obliterate Vlad if he's even still alive at that point. But you get 4 armies per major faction, you can certainly guarantee the Confederation with all the major factions. You can put legendary lords in that. Do the math. 4 armies, 5 lords. We're talking 20 Thunder Barge Doom stacks that you only have to pay the recruitment cost for. 20. Jesus. It's like forget the Age of Reckoning being trivialized. This is trivializing everything. Oh damn, Creative Assembly, did you cook on this DLC? Holy crap. I'm sure it was an oversight. But beyond the ludicrous level of power that something like this can obviously afford you. I mean, it would be fun if, like, they could spawn with thunder barges. I haven't seen any, though, from these armies. They can obviously recruit them, right, in regular armies. And if you're doing this late game, because you don't have to do this as early game, you could just play a normal campaign, do it in a late game, and they would probably recruit thunder barges at that point. But here's the thing. The absolute madness of all of this. Here's the insanity of this, and how it could be really fun, and as opposed to just a gimmick. It's like, let me steamroll the campaign map, because yeah, that's a bit of fun, that can be ridiculous. But hold on a second. You can enable the ultimate endgame crisis early on in a campaign, and generally it's gimmicky and it's, you know, abusable and all that, but imagine Vlad, the Wood Elves, Ekeclaw, the Skaven, the Greenskins. Like, the sheer insanity that would take place in a campaign. Like, that's one of the problems in Total War, right? The lack of scalability in the end game, the lack of challenge in the end game. Well, you can have a lot of fucking challenge right now. Sure, you know, minus 100% upkeep. But even if they fix the upkeep situation, I mean, it would be a lot of fun. And you can have a really great campaign situation from fairly early on. So if you want a potentially very challenging campaign as the Dwarves, you can get it. And oh boy, it would be biblical. It would be something else. I hope they don't fix this. I really do hope they don't fix this. Like, yeah, it's abusable if you want to use, if you want to take advantage of it, sure, but there's so much potential to have a lot of fun for this that I really hope they don't take it out. So, Costin signing out. Truly, we're in the era of the Dwarves. Like, at long last, the Dwarves are awesome.